With the constant fluidity of the boxing world and the happenings therein, it's come to light that Alexander Usyk may be stripped of his IBF title in the next couple of days or couple of weeks. The situation is that the IBF want their mandatory to be satisfied, but obviously Usyk has his rematch clause in place and it's been activated. Plus the IBF number one, Filip Hrgović, is already booked for a fight on June the 1st. Now the situation is this. The IBF hasn't been satisfied. Now the IBF are one of the most strictest governing bodies in boxing. And I kind of rate them for that. But at the same time, they've been a bit shady with their dealings of late, having one rule for one fighter and another rule for another fighter. But at the same time, this is the situation. The IBF title has not been defended since Anthony Joshua, who at the time was unified champion, defended the IBF belt against Kubrat Pulev in 2020, knocking him out in the 9th round. Where he had all three belts, the next one to be defended, the next mandatory in the rotation was the WBO. And that was Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk beat him twice, taking all the belts. And then the next one in rotation was the WBA. He satisfied that, stopping Daniel Dubois. And therefore, the next in line was the IBF again. But the IBF agreed to kind of step aside with their mandatory to let the undisputed fight happen, with the agreement that after the undisputed fight happens, they will then activate their mandatory and that should be satisfied next. But when they negotiated this fight, they had the rematch clause put in the fight, not the IBF, but when Usyk's people and Tyson Fury's people organized this fight, they had the rematch clause in place. So I'm not understanding why they didn't have the conversation with the IBF to say, look, it's going to be 2 fights probably because we have a rematch clause in place. Plus, anyway, the fighter that is number one is going to be having a fight in June anyway. So we should be able to have our rematch with no problems. And then after that, we can satisfy all these mandatory stuffs you want to do. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. IBF are clamping down. They're going to stop it and say, look, we're stripping you. Or Usyk is going to say, you know what? Here you go. Have your belt. Vacate that. Have that. I still got these 3 over here. So you can have that belt over there. But what's going to happen? It seems like it's definitely going to happen that he's going to be stripped or vacate. And with that, the belt will then go up for contention in the Dubois versus Hrgović fight in the 5 versus 5. Now, what kind of strange about that, or what's kind of mad about that, is the fact that Anthony Joshua is set to fight the winner of that fight. Because Turki Al-Sheikh it would have been the winner who looked best out of Hrgović versus Dubois or Wilder versus Zhilei Zhang. But it seems like Turki has said, look, after this fight, you and Zhilei Zhang, Wilder, I want you to fight Gerard Anderson over there in America because you guys are Americans. That's the fight he wants Wilder to have after he fights Zhilei Zhang. So effectively, that means AJ is set to fight the winner of Hrgović versus Dubois, which could then be a title fight, which then could make Anthony Joshua become a 3-time heavyweight champion. And ironically, it's the IBF belt again, which is the first belt he ever won as a title to become champion. This is wild. This is a very crazy turn of events, which could then see Anthony Joshua fighting for the title before he thought he would have been, because he thought he would have probably going to fight for undisputed against whoever wins out of Tyson Fury and Usyk rematch. But now it seems like he'll be fighting for the title, and if he wins, he'll be doing an undisputed type fight against the winner of Tyson Fury Usyk rematch. This is wild. This is mad. I thought I'd just put it out there. And at the same time, the WBC, their mandatory is coming up next as well. And they've just named, but the thing is, no, they have just named Caballero as the mandatory. So that won't be for a year. But by the time all of this happens, that year would have caught up with us and they would be next in the rotation. But the WBC seem to be very, very easy to sway either way. So that might not even be a problem. At the same time, it's getting busy in the heavyweight division. It's getting congested in the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division is as fruitful as it's been in a very, very, very long time. So I'll keep watching this space and I'll keep on reporting about what's going on with this situation. So I'll see you in the next video.